Here we go. Good morning. Welcome. It's me, I'm Giant, and you're in London with me. I'm going to do one of my fabulous walks again this morning. I apologise for my voice right now because I've got the back end of a cold I'm trying to clear off. That's why I never did a stream earlier on in the week. I'm hoping today I'll go okay. Good morning, Daisy. Very nice of you to pop in so early. Oh, dear. Right, today's walk. I'm going to take you up through Theatreland, up round what was called the Portland Estate of London, where all the aristocracy used to live. And then I'm going to finish off in Regent's Park, which is the fourth royal park that we're yet to visit. Having your morning coffee before breakfast. Yeah, I start with a cup of coffee in the morning. It's more just to clean my mouth out rather than anything. It's not for the caffeine shot. Right, it's no further ado. If I turn you around, you can see there is Trafalgar Square. That's where I'm starting from. Please bear with me while I sort the gear out, but I'm going to turn you around now. Just look at that. And I'm going to try and clip the phone. Oh, sorry, like that. Oh, it's not going. Got it. Right, there we go. As you can see, there's nice blue skies here in London. It's funny, people say, oh, don't go to London, it's pouring with rain all the time. I think I mentioned it before, but London's one of the driest cities in England. And it certainly has been recently, and every stream I've done from here, which is this is, I think, possibly my 9th stream or 8th stream. It's been beautiful mornings here. There we go, right. Are you all ready? Let's get a move on. Oh. As you can see, I'm just going to show you something. Yes, there's darker mornings in the morning days. I always wake up at 4 o'clock, and I've already noticed it's no longer light at 4. It's near enough an hour later now, about 10 to 5. It's up. Right, this is one of the many statues in Trafalgar Square. It's of King George IV. Now, I don't see what's wrong with that statue, so that's what they do there. I'll go to the other corner. Show you another statue, or I wouldn't call it a statue. Bearing in mind Trafalgar Square is an ornamental square, and it's sort of to commemorate the Battle of Trafalgar and everything. And so good morning, Frisco's greatest. Nice of you to pop in. Cool, you're doing well, Daisy. That's 5 streams on the trot you've watched me. Oh, I must be doing something right. Excuse me. We come to this corner, and a similar sort of plinth, and the statue they got on top, if you can call it a statue. Oh, that's the modern equivalent of what they do now. I know what I prefer. I prefer to see the one that commemorates the king of the country and he's on a horse. How they can call that? Oh, I don't know. Right, I'm going to start taking you for a walk. We're going to walk north today. Lovely building there, as you regulars know, Daisy, I know that's the National Portrait Gallery. Facade only. The rear of it is just a completely new building which they've designed to hold all the thousands of portraits they've got, painted portraits that is. As you can see, the sun's coming up. Coming up behind St Martin in the Fields Church. You might have to bear with me today, guys, because I might sound out of breath. The one thing with having a cold these days, because I had COVID twice, and I've got a touch of what they call long COVID. Unfortunately, I get out of breath quite easy. Excuse me. Oh, I almost cough away from the mic, sorry guys. I don't know how long this walk will take this morning, probably hour and a half, probably an hour and a half tops, depending on what speed I walk at and what we see along the way. As you know, I like these early morning walks because there's few people around and London's just sort of waking up. Just across here. So I'm going to take you through the theatre land and point out some of the theatres there are. The tall building that's coming into view now, with a nice globe on top of the tower there, that's the London Coliseum. It's a theatre that was built in 1904, and basically it was just a variety theatre, but it was not just any variety theatre. It's the largest and the most luxurious theatre in England. And I think the building itself shows that. I've been in these theatres when I was younger, but I don't remember them now. It's a long time since I've been in any of these theatres. As you can see, it's a very ornate theatre. First theatre in Europe to have lifts to take the patrons up to the other floors in the theatre. Sadler's Wells, they moved here in 1963, and Sadler's Wells became what is now known as the English National Opera. Go on in, greeny man. Welcome on in, Manon. Is there morning in London as well? Yes, of course there's morning in London as well. Morning everywhere. And the next theatre I'm going to show you is this one on this side of the road. This is the Duke of York Theatre, which was built in 1892. Yeah, you can see no expense was spared on what they did with theatres in them days. They made them quite palatial looking. When it first opened, it was called Trafalgar Square Theatre, then called the Duke of York Theatre, and it's just recently been renamed the Tom Stoppard Theatre, which is Tom Stoppard's a playwright. As you can see, there's one of his plays on in there now. It's very nice. As you can see, as I keep telling you on my streams, that people should look up more. When you look at some of these buildings. They're fantastic. Now what you find in London with all the theatres, and probably elsewhere in the world where the theatres are, there's a load of eateries everywhere. And it's tradition to go for a meal before you go and watch your play. Or it is here in London anyway. The next theatre I want to show you is this one across the road here. This is the Noel Coward Theatre. Again, look at how palatial it looks. This is the latest theatre. It's built in 1903. Opened as the New Theatre because it was in it's next to the road called New Row, sorry. Renamed the Albury Theatre. In 2006 it was refurbished and then was renamed after famous playwright Noel Coward. Playwright and actor, I should say. Alright, we'll continue our walk. Another one of those rare central points which is joined by, in this case, 5 roads. All angles.
I'm not asking for money. Would you buy me a hot chocolate, please?
I haven't got any money on me, sorry.
Here you go. Anyone buy me a hot chocolate?
Right, this here is another one of these underground stations I keep telling you about, where it's just built as one level. That's the oxblood tiled arches you can see. And the bit above it was added at a different time. This is Leicester Square underground station. So originally it would have just been the lower level there built, and then the railway company at the time, which I think was the Metropolitan Railway, sold the air rights to another company to build properties above it. And they would have been expensive apartments, I would have thought. Now we'll take a walk back this way, walk down another road. First time chatter help, that's a nice introduction. As you can see on this building here, there's a blue plaque. You'll find these all over London, and to commemorate where people lived, famous people. So Joshua Reynolds was an artist way back when, in the 18th century. Purported to have lived there. We'll go along this way. We've got another heat wave in London at the moment, well, in the UK. They just announced yesterday that a big swathe of the southeast of the UK is in drought conditions, because we've had no rain for a long, long time, and all the reservoirs are empty. So there's hosepipe bums on everyone. Right, I'm going to take you up Charing Cross Road now, start heading north. Good morning, Sam. Oh, arriving late. I'm surprised you're up. Apologise for the coughing and spluttering and bad voice this morning. The reason why I wasn't here Monday was because I had a bad cold and I'd actually lost my voice. It's come back and I'm still a bit croaky. I started off at Trafalgar Square this morning and I'm heading towards Regent's Park, taking you up by what was called the Portland Estate in North London, in central London. And I'm just going to show you a few things along the route. But we'll end up at Regent's Park, which will be a nice little walk at the end. Now this building here is the Welsh Presbyterian Church Chapel. Built here in 1888, was moved from another site, but it had to make way for Shaftesbury Avenue, so they moved it to here. It remained a church till 1982 when it was turned into a nightclub. I think it was called the Limelight, but it didn't last long. It was converted to offices in 84 and today I believe it's an art centre, although it doesn't look like it's used much. I'm going to cross the road up here in a minute. And you'll recognise we've been here before because I've showed you theatre there on me. On my left, Harry Potter is at the moment, and I'm going straight across. I'm going to carry on up the Charing Cross Road. See, pubs play a big part in British culture. We've got the Cambridge across there, which is an old pub, and then just 4 or 5 doors up there's another one on the corner, Coach and Horses. The reason why there's so many pubs in Britain, it wasn't because the Brits were all alcoholics, because back in the day water wasn't as clean as it is nowadays, and the only way people got their proper intake of liquid was to have beer brewed, and beer would, because of the brewing process they used for the beer, it was safer than drinking the actual water that was around. So that's the reason why there were so many beer pubs in the UK. And where I come from, which is Chatham in Kent, that's where I was born, you go down there and you'll see there's a lot of look like pubs, and there were hundreds of pubs in there because it was an old naval town, and there were literally every other door there was a pub. It was just unbelievable. Now you're lucky if you find 3 pubs down there. Right, this building here, which is now Foyles, which is one of the biggest bookshops in the UK. That was St Martin's School of Art originally, but Foyles moved here in 2014. And Foyles had the building next door, which has now been completely demolished, and I don't know what you call that. It was built in its place. The proper name of that building, I'm trying to think, is Ilona Rose House. And it's just purely office space, but there was a big building, huge building there which Foyles had, and they moved in there in 1929. It's purpose built for them. outside. Now, during World War II, it was reputed that foils got hold of every single copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf and covered the roof in it as protection from all the Blitz. And during the Blitz, there was a lot of firebombs and things like that, and that's what they did. They put these all these books on top. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it sounds plausible. We're leaving Charing Cross Road now, and I'll take you through into the Captain Sam, 5 streams as well, well done. It's very kind of you to honour me for that 5 streak. It's a true streak as well in my stream, because the streaks have already been running from day one, whereas streaks I have in other streams, because the UK was switched on 2 weeks after the United States stream streaks, I lag behind in my stream streaks on miniatures. That's, I don't say, me and you, Sam, we go to see Ira's channel. I'm way behind. Well, no, I'm 2 weeks behind there of others in chat, because I lost that 2 weeks. But I don't take much notice of stream streaks, because it's nowadays it can all be what I call freaked, cheated. Because all you've got to do is go and look at a VOD for a couple of minutes, and you get the stream streak back. You don't even have to watch the full VOD. But the building we just come through, excuse me, is an old pub called the Pillars of Hercules. Another one of these old coaching inns. It's no longer a pub, it's a cocktail bar. It's not, this is the original. The original was built in 1733, but most of what you see left now was built in 1910. It stopped being, as I say, it stopped being a pub. I'm trying to think when it was now. Oh, 2018 it stopped being a pub. It's now become a cocktail bar. We'll take a walk this way. This is a beautiful entrance, isn't it? This next building I want to show you is quite an old building. It's on the end here. And you can see in the name when it says House of Charity. This was built in 1747, believe it or not. In 1747, it was a house of an aristocrat. This area and the area I'm going to show you as I walk further is where the rich lived. And they used to own these houses, and they'd have servants and that looking after it for them. Well, originally this was one name, but in 1811 it was taken over by the Westminster Council, for a better word. I don't know if they called them councils in the days. And it became the Westminster Commission of Sewers, of all names, of all things. And the great Sir Joseph Bazalgette, he set up his Metropolitan Boards of Works in there in 1856, which is when, I think I've explained it before, they built the South Bank because they increased the size of the sewers to try and clean London up. After World War II it became a women's hostel, and that closed in 2006. Thank you, Falk Van Alk, for following. That's very kind of you. Sold on the USA. I don't know when the USA started. Yeah, I know what you mean. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, it was the house of St Barnabas, but in 2013 one of the ceilings collapsed inside and it wasn't. Now, do you notice the windows? There's some bricked up windows. Now, there's a reason behind that. Years ago, they used to have a thing called a window tax. Good morning from Germany, welcome in on in. They used to charge a window tax. So you have a property, and for the number of windows on it, you pay a certain amount of tax. So to pay less tax, this is true, this is fact, they would brick up windows. So they're no longer windows, so they no longer pay tax on them. And that's how it was, and you'll find a lot of buildings in London like that. Especially a lot of big state buildings, you'll find a lot of fake windows. Now this is Soho Square. Soho Square is much as I've showed you before, it's a square whereby all the residents around it would chip in and pay for it and look after it. It's presently shut at the moment. I don't know what time it opens up. It is open to the public. But as again, it's like the normal parks. It's a rest area. Which way round do I go? I go around the top way. I go around this way. So what is Soho? Soho is an area. It's an area of London. It's just a name. Where the name comes from, I don't know. I should have to find out where that name comes from. It obviously comes from somewhere. But all the houses you find around here were all owned by rich aristocracy. Today, a majority of them are either converted to expensive apartments or are owned by firms that have offices and that in there. As you can see, the old stuff's taken down, you get modern buildings built in amongst it, which don't look like the best of things, to be honest. That's how it was in the 60s and 70s. They didn't build to blend in. Nowadays they try to blend architecture in with what is in the area at the time. It could be self something, I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to have a look up on. Because I know there is a Soho and a NoHo in New York City, which gives you the impression that it's south of Ho and north of Ho. What Ho means, I don't know. Here's Soho, Southall Market. Yeah. And Soho in London is recognised as being the area where you can find a lot of jazz music playing. One of the popular streets for jazz music is Dean Street. Excuse me. As you can see, the housing around here is very, and again there's more of those bricked up window effects to save on window tax. As I say, you'll find a lot of jazz in here, and you'll find there's pizza places, and they have basements or rooms up top where they allow jazz musicians to hold their own little concerts, etc. Oh, massive people coming towards me. One of the places I've frequented quite a few times to see jazz playing is in the Pizza Express place here. Which you go downstairs, and downstairs it's all laid out, and there's a stage down there, and playing smooth jazz or any sort of jazz. It's nice. Right, I'm coming to an area now, which is an area I'm not particularly keen on. It's certainly an area I avoid during the day. And it's called Oxford Street. As you know, Oxford Street is one of the main shopping centres of London, and tourists love it. The casino, the Hippodrome, is over towards Leicester Square more. It's not in Soho as such. I've actually shown that on stream on one of my walks. Name Soho first appears in 1636. Name derived from former hunting cry. Really? That's interesting. A rally cry. Oh, you live and learn. So it's nothing to do with South at all. Soho. Interesting. Thanks for that, Daisy. That's really interesting. Another one of the entrances to an underground. This is a more modern entrance. This was done up a few years back. As I say, this is the opposite end of Oxford Street to what we were the other day when we were at Marble Arch. This is the other end of it. As you can see, it's very quiet at the moment. But come later on, this will be ram-packed with tourists. And if you do decide to come shopping here, make sure you keep hold of your stuff because it's rife with pickpocketing. Let's cross here. Now, I'm not staying on Oxford Street because, as you know, I don't like shops. Yeah, it is a Dabutsu. It is a nice casino. Now, can you see that structure in the background? You might just be able to see it. I don't know how big it is on your screens. That is the BT Tower, as it's called now. And I'm going to walk up to that and I'm going to look at that from the base before progressing further north. I'll tell you a bit more history about the tower as we get nearer. It's quite an impressive tower. Originally, around the middle part there, which looks quite bare at the moment, that would have been full of microwave antennas, the up-round dishes, and there'd be other towers around the country which would link, and they'd fire microwaves at each other for communication purposes. So rather than have cables going all underground and everything linked via cables, they would have these microwaves and send it around. Of course, nowadays, it's been surpassed by fibre optics and the internet. So microwave technology was no longer needed for communication purposes, and they got rid of them. So there's no longer any microwave communications on that building. The properties you see around here are all expensive apartments. These are all built for the aristocracy. Originally they were townhouses. So you can imagine owning one of these buildings and it belonged to one person. It's just amazing. You'll find interspersed in amongst it is these new buildings. And these new buildings have cropped up for one of two reasons. One, because the original buildings that were there were so dilapidated, they've had to pull them down. No amount of preservation would have saved them. Or the other reason being because of World War II, things were bombed and damage was caused. So at some point they were rebuilt with modern buildings. I must say I'm struggling this morning to keep my breath. Oh. The nearer you get to that tower, the more impressive it looks. I'm thinking of doing some afternoon streams in London. I don't know what people would think of that. So obviously all you viewers obviously must be early morning viewers because you're up now watching me. But I'm thinking of doing later streams and also thinking of going to other towns and cities in the UK to walk around just for a change. Change it up, see what you people like. I still don't know if people are tuning in to this because it's London or they're tuning in just because it's a walking stream. Well, these are really modern buildings here. This was bombed in the war. And it marvels me that new buildings go up and new buildings are pulled down as quick as anything, whereas there's a lot of old buildings still around which stand the test of time. A lot of these modern buildings, because the modern buildings are basically just a frame with a fascia, they just get pulled down, and it's generally the frame that gets fatigued and is in a poor state, and so they just put it all down. And the way the fascia is attached, they can't preserve them. Well, you say 420 Acrofin, you say long streams don't get the viewers, but my streams have been getting quite a few people viewing them. I'm quite shocked at the number I get. A lot of people, like myself, I do in a lot of streams just lurk. You're just there for the chill of the stream. Depends where you are in the world. I've only started doing it this time of the morning because it suits me. Because this is what I always do. I always walk in the morning, so it's just a case of putting this on. Good morning, Metafish. You tune in because it's both London and walking. Ah, it's true. So I don't know what the vibes would be like if I start walking these streams in the afternoon when it's just masses of people and you can't see things. Whether they will be just as interesting or not, I don't know. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to test these things out. You can see we're getting nearer to the post office tower now. I used to work in the West End 18 years ago. Oh. You might have been in London when I used to work in London. I finished work 3 years ago now. But prior to that, it's been 10 years ago. 10 years ago I'd been in London, and I'd have been in London at that point at 25 years, so yes, you would have been. I used to work at London Bridge. So I was there for 25 years. Went up there in 1991, 92. That's where I get a bit of my accent from, because working amongst a lot of Londoners, especially from the southeast of London, Deptford and Greenwich and that area, you tend to pick up their accent and some of their words they say. Getting to the base of the what is the BT Tower now. Originally, when it was conceived as the museum at Radio Tower. Now it's not named after a museum. That was the name of the telephone exchange, which is in the museum district. But when it was inaugurated in oh God, I can't think of the year now, 64, it was renamed the Post Office Tower, or sometimes known as the General Post Office Tower. And the General Post Office at the time was the one responsible for all telephone communications in the days before it was privatised in 1984 when it became BT, and that's when it was renamed the BT Tower. And today it's been sold off. It's no longer used as a communications tower. It's been sold off to a private hotel company called MCR, and they are presently, or they were, in the throes of converting it to a hotel. There's a unique feature in the place. There was a revolving restaurant at the top, but that hadn't worked for years. That had stopped working. And I think they had a bomb scare at one point, and so they stopped using it completely as a restaurant. I'm down here. Is that a rocket? Right, as you can see, we're right at the base. Of the BT Tower. It is literally just a column. I can see why you say, is that a rocket? It even looks like it's a rocket standing on a launch pad. But it's just amazing to see. So it's supposed to be being converted to a hotel, but whether that's still going ahead or not, I don't know. I don't know if we're still broadcasting or not. It looked like I'd lost connection there for a little while, which is rather ironic when I'm round by a big British Telecoms communications hub. Amazing. Smells like warm wiring down here. Let's go to the left. Strange looking tile building there. I have to find out the history, and that's weird. That's a weird building. Unusual. More office blocks and modern buildings. I'm now coming to what is the Portland Estates area. Good morning, welcome on in, nice of you to chat with us. Do apologise if I sound out of breath, I'm still struggling over this cold I've had. I said I do suffer a touch from long COVID, so that as well is not helping. I started my walk this morning from Trafalgar Square, and I'm presently walking north, going to end up in Regent's Park. As you can see, there's all office blocks around here, and that's basically what this area has become. It's just become a large office area. Because the buildings are so large and everything, they make ideal office space, especially the older buildings. They could convert them to apartments, but not everyone wants an apartment on busy roads, etc., etc. The next building I'm going to show is on the end. It's called Yalding House, 1930s build. It was built as offices and car showroom back then. That's when cars first came about in the UK. What became popular was in the 1930s. And again, it's those with money were the ones that could afford them, so that's why such places, car showrooms, would be built in such a rich area. No point building them out in the slums because people wouldn't be interested in cars, couldn't afford them. That's the building opposite there, it's Yalding House. The Yalding House is known more by fans of BBC Radio 1 and Radio 3 because that used to be the home of Radio 1 and Radio 3 from 1952 to 2013. And it used to house all the BBC's music library as well in there. They moved out of there in 2013, and 3 years later it was redeveloped as office space. That was quite an impressive building. Lovely blue skies. Who says it rains in London all the time? This is Great Portland Street. Developed by the Dukes of Portland in 1717. The whole area was called the Portland Estate. And as you can see from the buildings, very elaborate, expensive buildings, because the people that lived here were the aristocracy, the ones who were rich, had servants, and didn't have to work a day in their life. The buildings you see now are not the original 1717 buildings, because it was redeveloped in the 1800s, 1913. But the whole area became a prominent area for arts, motors, garments, and the broadcast industry. And we'll go this way. Good morning, Mama Speaker. Welcome to see. Nice to see you here. God, it's late for you. Oh, and you've been busy all day as well. Wow. I saw you popped into Irish Stream at the end. I had to go to bed because obviously getting up early for this morning. I don't know how she got on overnight, camping out where she was. I saw she had to move her tent. That's a bit odd. As you can see, these buildings are really big, expensive buildings. So that they were for the British aristocracy, the dukes, the royals, the people with the money back then. No, they're just typical aristocracy townhouses. Big, huge. We'd have servants in them. As I say, they're converted nowadays more often than not. These probably off the off streets here are probably our apartments, but those on the main streets generally become offices because of the traffic. Why are they called buildings? Because that's the way the British call them. They call them buildings. They're buildings. Could call them structures. Could call them houses. The collective term we call them in the UK is buildings. Now we're coming into what is called Portland Place. Another expensive street for the aristocracy back in the time. Lined, as you can see, with expensive buildings. We even have on the corner there the Austrian Embassy, which is right there. There's another one down there, but I don't recognise the flag. Someone might know the flag down there. Yellow, blue, red horizontal stripes. The building I want to show you, it's like cross. Behind me. This building here was built especially for the Royal Institute of British Architects. Built in 1717. Sorry, 1932. Getting the dates mixed up. 1932. It's built for the architects, and that's where they're housed to this present day. Everything you want to know about architecture is in that building. Now this street, as you can see, is very wide. And the reason why it's very wide because the aristocracy, the lord that lived down the bottom end of the south end of this road, his house looked up it, and he wanted his view. He wanted to keep the view all the way up to the north. He didn't want it obstructed by a street, so they built it this wide. As you can see, it's a very wide road. Just amazing buildings. Hello, Metal 2405. No, I don't speak Russian. I know English, born and bred with English. I know a little bit of German, but I like the channel to be kept English so everyone who's in the channel can understand what's going on. I can understand what's going on. There's no point speaking a language I don't know because I want to understand what people are saying. In this building here, you can see the facade has stayed the same. They've extended on the back of the new build, which is quite common, and it was very common in the 1960s. They had a thing called facadism, where they had to, by law, keep the fronts of buildings, but they could pull down the back and rebuild the back completely, and there's loads of places like that in the UK. Very coming into what is called Park Crescent. Originally it was meant to be in Regent Circle, meant to be a complete circle. There we go. Nice where the sun's catching it there. There goes the other side as well. It's a semicircle, so it was originally meant to be a circle, but when they got round to it, excuse me, when they got round to building it, they decided to just keep the southern half and let the residents of the southern half have a view north over the parkland. And they never did build the northern half of it. Now this is another case of 1960s facadism. Parkland was built in the mid 1800s, so it was designed as a circle. But by the end of World War II, the buildings were in such a bad state, they'd put in to demolish the whole crescent. But a lot of people wanted it kept, so they agreed that they could keep the facade and just build a completely new building behind the facade. And that's what we have today. And in the middle there would have been a circular garden, but of course because it's only stayed half a circle, it's just now a semicircle garden. All this leads round to Regent's Park, which we're not far away from now. As you can see, it's a private garden which only the people that live around the outside can use. As I said before, there's many of them in London. Well, they pay for it, so I suppose it's their right. Not all space has to be public space. Welcome back to the traffic of London. Good morning, Soho Sam. Welcome on in. Oh, as you can see, I'm in a sunny London. Probably not as sunny where you're from in the Middle East. Chat, go follow Soho Sam. A very funny, excellent streamer. Didn't work, did it? Let's cross. Very excellent streamer. He's the only streamer in the Middle East, so he claims, and I believe him. His streams are excellent. I enjoy them, even if I only probably lurk. But do go and give him a follow, and if you like him, subscribe to him. He's really good. I'm still not used to this, Sam. There we go, shout out for Sam. I'm still not used to doing things on the move. This is only me 8th or 9th stream, and I'm still tweaking things, so I've actually freed my right hand up now so I can actually use my phone to do things. Yes, Sam, we're here in London. I've been walking from Trafalgar Square, which a lot of people know, and I've been walking north, heading towards what is Regent's Park. I've actually walked into Regent's Park now. This is the start of it. These are more of these expensive aristocracy townhouses that were built back in the 1800s. These probably are still townhouses and probably owned by really rich people. Probably tell that by some of the cars outside. But yeah, they say London is always rainy. Well, I've not had a rainy day here for a long time. And at the moment it's about 23 degrees already. They reckon today is going to be up in the 30s again. Nice to get away from the traffic. the noise of the traffic. The Regent's Park is the fourth Royal Park I've taken you to. The others being St James's Park, Green Park and Hyde Park, which Hyde Park also include Kensington Gardens. Again, originally the land was owned by the manor of Tyneburn, and Tyneburn was a river. But it was owned by monks from the Barking Abbey, but in Henry VIII and his dissolution of the Roman Catholic Church and the invention of the English Christianity, he disillusioned all the monasteries in the 1530s, and he took over their land. So King Henry VIII owned all this land, and it all became a hunting ground, as Henry VIII seemed to like hunting. A bit like St James's Park and Hyde Park, they were hunting grounds as well. But this was more of a forestry hunting sort of ground rather than what the other grounds were. It was landscaped in the 1800s for the royalty, and gradually, bit by bit, from 1835, it's been opened up to the public. And we have some sort of race going by here. Blimey. Welcome to Regent's Park. As you can see, because of all the hot weather we've been having, it's rather parched looking. Let's take a walk this way. Beautiful morning for walking the park, a bit warm, but it's nice for a little walk. I'm going to take you around this park and just show you some of the features of it. So it was opened up bit by bit from 1830s, and there's still some bits which are not open to the public, because there are a couple of royalty houses in here, but not royalties from the UK, not from Brunei and Saudi Arabia. Some of the royalties from there own a couple of houses in Regent's Park. Regent's Park, like Hyde Park, is over 400 acres big in size, and you could spend all day here. It's nice to come here. One thing these royal parks do give for central London is a piece of nature, a bit of respite from the hustle and bustle of London itself. It's that time of day where all the joggers are out doing their early morning runs. Something I've never liked doing is running. It's not for me. I think it causes too much damage on the joints. Now, Regent's Park is famous for one thing. In the north east corner is London Zoo. I've been there several times as a kid. I tend not to visit zoos so much nowadays because I don't think they're really good for animals. I mean, they must be seen as good, but otherwise they wouldn't still exist. But I just don't like the idea of seeing wild animals caged up. I think they should be allowed to be out roaming free. So just take you down here, just to show you outside the park. In actual fact, all this is part of the park. All these buildings you see in front of us, they're all in Regent's Park. They're actually the park. The actual park limits is the road further down in front of the church that you see in the distance. The church you see in the distance is St Marylebone's Parish Church. And again, before this became London, this was what was called Marylebone. And that would have been its local parish church. Of course, they still exist, as they do all over London. The buildings on the left now belong to the Royal Music Academy, and they've got recital halls in there, and they've also got a big museum, which is worth a visit if you're in town. We've lost connection again. Why have I lost connection? I think I'm back. For some reason I lost connection here. That's strange. Getting connection back gradually. And I think we're back. I think we're back. I'll take you back into the park. For some reason I lost connection back there. It seems to have come back. I've actually got two SIM cards in now. Before I was using one. It was a hotspot from my phone. So there's no reason why they shouldn't both be working. Thank you, Mama Swig. Have a good sleep. And I'll see you again sometime. Thanks for coming in. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh. Yeah, one of my Sims isn't picking up a signal for some reason. I have to keep an eye on that. Into Regent's Park itself. To the right of me is part of the boating lake. Signal's not good through here. This is the first time I've lost signal. Interesting. I hope it picks up. The boating lake was used back in the 1800s as an ice skating rink in the winter. And there was one incident that happened in 1864 when, while over 40 people were on the ice skating, it suddenly gave way and they all fell in. And unfortunately 40 of them died. To remedy that, to stop that happening again, they drained the lake, filled it in so it was only 4 foot deep, so in future if it happens there's less likelihood of people to drown. But it will never freeze over at the moment. We don't get the weather anymore in the UK for it to freeze over like it used to. I remember the rivers and that freezing over back in the 1970s. But and we used to get white Christmases every year. I remember last time we had white Christmas. In fact, I can't remember the last time we had rain, to be honest. It's been so hot lately. The signal's poor through here, very poor. Sorry about that, chat. Just going to move on and get out of this area so we get a bit of signal. You can't believe it, I'm in the centre of London and I'm losing signal. To the right of me, if we have got picture, is where Regent's University of London is. Another one of the many universities of London. Good morning, Tank Girl. Nice to see you here. 2 minutes. We've had nothing where I live. As I keep mentioning, London, everyone says London rains all the time. London's not had rain for months. We're a bit glitchy, but still going. Thank you, Tank Girl. It's strange that I'm in the centre of London and I'm not getting a very good signal. I do have 2 SIM chips bonded together, so it's difficult to explain how it works, but the stream is split over 2 signals then, so it doesn't rely on a strong signal, so that's probably why it's hanging about and still working. 2 minutes and done. It is like that. There's all our Canadian friends here. Good morning, Denzel. Nice of you to pop in. We're presently in Regent's Park. It's one of the 4 royal parks of London. I thought I'd take a walk from Trafalgar Square to here today. It's just so parched looking. It normally used to be a green grass, it would look fantastic, but it just looks terrible. This is a bandstand, what they call a bandstand. Victorians used to build them in their parks. And they used to have bands, and this one's quite famous, not in a good way. The Royal Military used to play here, play music and that. And in 1982, unfortunately, a bomb went off and killed 7 of the royal musicians, which was that's why the poppies are there at the base of the bandstand. But these bandstands were quite popular. Even in my old town where I used to live, Chatham in Kent, they had a park there called Victoria Gardens, built in the Victorian times, and even that had a bandstand in the middle. It was quite a common practice there for the Victorians to go and sit there, and their entertainment was watching this band, because they didn't have TVs and mobile phones and streaming and that in them days. So that's where their entertainment was, and it's like where we were earlier on in the theatre lands of London, those theatres all cropped up in the 1800s and early 1900s, because again, TV and mobile phone, they weren't even thought of. So their only entertainment was that, to go out to the entertainment, which was in theatres, which would be plays, variety, comedy, whatever, burlesque. Good morning, AOO Rock. Or is it AE00 Rock? Nice to see you again. I'm just taking a leisurely stroll through Regent's Park. More geese. This time not our Canadian friends. I just don't like Canadian geese. I'm a bit wary of them, having been chased by them several times. You know, Regent's Park is set out in two circles. You've got the outer circle, which we've just been walking through, and then you've got the inner circle. I'm just going to cross over what is the inner circle road. No. Lots of bikes. Cross over into the inner circle. What is basically Queen Mary's Gardens. Oh, sorry.
That's right.
It does sound exclusive, doesn't it? Inner circle. And to some extent it is. I was mentioning earlier on about there being a couple of royal residences here, not British royal residences, but royals belonging to the Brunei and Saudi Arabia, and they're in the inner circle. You can't get access to them. Now, it's called the Queen Mary Gardens, and it's full of roses. It's developed in 1930s, and believe it or not, there's over 8,000 roses planted here, and they're all of, cool, it smells wonderful. They're all of different species, so over 8,000 different species. Nice name for a rose. There's loads of them, they're all over the place. I like roses. The English rose is the flower of England. Did I stay on with Iris? I couldn't stay on because I had to go to bed. I left I think an hour before she finished the stream. I did watch that hour this morning coming down on the train, and I did notice that she had issues with someone pulling up in a van, and she had to move her tent, which I thought was a bit offish. But knowing her, I think she'd have a good night. She's a pretty tough cookie. People treat her in chat like she's dumb, and she's not. Ira's not dumb at all. She's quite an intelligent person. I should have more faith in her. She's really something else. Yeah, because of Ira's background, she comes from Ukraine. They're a tougher race of people. And a lot of a lot of Western Europeans are a bit namby-pamby, as I call it. They don't trust themselves. They're frightened of their own shadows and that. And Ira's not like that. She gives the impression she's a shy person, but she's just quite a tough cookie. We all have our worries about her and what she does, but she knows what she's doing. Just have faith in her. Any Scottish roses? I don't think Scotland. I don't know if Scotland might have a rose. I don't know. But yeah, it's a shame you haven't got smelly vision. It smells nice. And one of the features they've got in here There's this little island in the middle. It's a Japanese island. I don't suppose there's much on there because of the dryness. Oh, it's actually shut off. Probably it's just danger, so I should imagine the bridge is unsafe. But you used to be able to go on there and go around and walk around that. And it's a little bit of Japanese type flowering, bonsais and etc. It is beautiful, isn't it, Daisy? I think this is right bang in London again. Nice little eagle statue in the middle there. What you find around a lot of English rivers and lakes and that is the tree here, known as a weeping willow. And there's another beautiful one just here, a weeping willow. They used to farm willow trees back in the 1800s, early 1900s, for the wood in them. It's quite a flexible wood. Now they also use the willow for making cricket bats, again because it's flexible. But they also used to use it for making willow wicker, which is the stuff they used to use for making baskets and stuff like that back in the day. You know, the weaving of the willow to make these willow baskets, very strong. And the real name of the tree is an osier, and they used to have these osier orchards everywhere. And they used to farm them just purely for the for use as for making wicker baskets and the like. As you can see, the tree droops down, and they're quite a flexible branch on them. You find them everywhere in England, all around the watery areas. You wouldn't believe it, but it's true. Yes, it is super cool, you're right. It is, it's nice. All I can hear at the moment, I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear in the background there's a tennis court somewhere nearby because I can hear tennis being played. And this part of the gardens here is actually owned by the Royal Botanic Society, so they look after it. That's why, compared to the other bit of Regent's Park, it looks a bit more greener and more flowers and that, because they cultivate these flowers here. Some wildlife there. The bird with the red beak and yellow tip on the beak, that's a moorhen. Hello, Init. Hello, Zek. Welcome on in. Where are all the other people in the park? Well, because it's only 7:47 in the morning here, are either getting up and going to work or on their way to work, on their way to coming into London. And the tourists, well, if you've ever been a tourist, not many tourists like getting up before 9 o'clock and walking around where they're staying. I do. I like getting out early. It avoids the crowds, it avoids the people. Signal's gone again. Seems to be a lot of dead sections here in London. The signal is atrocious. Oh. We're back, thank you, Denzel. Oh. That's something I've learned I've not seen before is that when it goes low bit rate, it goes on low bit rate screen. It's good. I knew it existed, but I just never seen it coming before, so at least that's switched in. Oh. I don't know why the signal's so poor. It's terrible. Oh, my code has gone. What? Shit. Cool. All sorts of things happening, chat. Oh. Are we back? Are we back, chat? Are we back? We are indeed back. Thank you, Snot Talent. Thank you. Oh, welcome on in. Signal's bad in this park. I have to rethink where I'm going to start from next, because this is where I was going to start from my next stream. But if it's like that, I'm not. Oh. Saw the Polaris, I'm guessing gardeners. I didn't see what he was. Remember that. But, we seem to have a signal at the moment. We seem to be broadcasting stuff. That's not bad. Now I'm going to take you up to what is the Triton Fountain. Unfortunately, go, I reached my follower goal, 220. Thank you everyone for following, who's followed to make me reach that. That's amazing. I'll take you to the Triton Fountain. Unfortunately, it's not going to be doing what a fountain does, for obvious reasons. It's very dry in the UK at the moment, and to have water spraying out of a fountain seems like a waste of precious water. There's the Triton Fountain. The signal's gone again. This is a bloody nightmare. I have a feeling my bella box is overheating. It's showing 51 degrees. Which to me is rather warm. Oh. In the playback. Are we back, chat? Are we back? Looks like we're back there. We've got the signal there. The bella box is back. Are we back, chat? This is ridiculous. We're back, Daisy. Hello, Daisy. Thank you for that, Daisy. This is terrible. Well, I've got to the point where I wanted to get to anyway today. I've got to the centre of Regent's Park. The signal's terrible, so when I start my next stream, I'm going to have to start it outside the park because this is ridiculous. I think my bella box might be overheating. It's very warm here already. I just looked at the temperature and it's 26, and it's only 7:56 in the morning. Ooh. There's no one out there I can raid this morning. There's no one on at the moment of raiding. So I'd just like to say to everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for walking along with me. I apologise for the bad signal at the end. Bad signal at the end. It's not very good, I know. I do apologise. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you for saying that. That's very kind of you. And I will see you all soon. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all the followers. And yeah, thanks, guys. It's been great.